Fellas, are you excited for gumbo?
Yeah, man.
Super excited.
Some Cajun food?
Can't wait.
Gonna be some hot sauce?
Bourbon Street.
The hot baddies for KK? The Love Machine? All that and more on the other side of the Red Zone Blitz.
Tuned in to the Red Zone Blitz for all things NFL and college football.
How are we doing, fellas?
Good.
Fellas, I just want to say I recognize that we may have not fixed KK's mic last episode. I thank all 42 of you that emailed me personally telling me that we are suppressing the Love Machine. I'm very sorry. That was a technical error on my part. Rest assured, the Love Machine is sitting here. He's mic'd up.
I'm here.
Yeah, he's here. Wow. That sounded very affectionate. Sounds like he's about to rub some nice lady down. I'm here. Don't get your panties in a twist here. KK the Love Machine is here. How you fellas doing?
Doing great, man.
Not a whole lot of NFL news. We will talk about NFL in our later episode this week. Josh Jacobs did get arrested for domestic violence. Once a Raider, always a Raider. Am I right?
Yeah,
Am I
there
right?
you go.
In terms of college, I mean, Brendan Sorsby, Texas Tech, is going to be going into the supplemental draft because the NCAA came down and they said, you know what, that's enough from you. You will not be playing in the NCAA further this year, so he's not eligible to play. Therefore, his future is either being a DraftKings specialist on DraftKings, coming on the Red Zone Blitz, or going to the NFL. It really is only those three.
Or hear me out. Johnny Manziel just went and fought in MMA.
He
style.
did fight Bob Menery.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was
Calling
it-
new opponent
calling
for
it
Johnny Manziel.
calling it fighting is
Yeah.
is a beautiful stretch.
Very-
But you know what? Brendan Sorsby's probably got to be a pretty good gambler for him to be under the radar of the sports books. So maybe he does have a future in calling bets.
Maybe.
He could make a lot of money by
could
just
definitely, yeah.
starting his own
Well, what was the point of going to rehab then? He's just
Well,
going to start gambling.
that's just so he could go down and play in tackle.
At least he can gamble now without.
Well,
letting
he
it go.
can provide insight on what to do and then not.
The team that the people that this really screws probably is Texas Tech, because
Oh,
I
big
don't
time.
really think they have a backup plan now, and they're probably fucked. Cincinnati, if they knew about this all along, oh boy.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Fellas, we're going to keep this one a little LSU focused. We're going to keep it a little college football focused, LSU focused. There's tons of stuff happening. We're going to go full LSU today. Now, the Brian Kelly era is dead. Lane Kiffin is in Baton Rouge. Everything has changed since we last talked about LSU. So Lane Kiffin got hired. That was a happy day. That was a happy day for all LSU fans. Brian Kelly was, of course, fired mid-season. All that lovely stuff happened. In his introductory press conference, Lane Kiffin called Coach O on the drive to Tiger Stadium, channeled his inner Coach O and yelled, how do they yell? Is it, go Tigers. Go Tigers, out the car window. He called it an elite, LSU an elite program in all of college football at his introductory press conference. LSU added roughly 40 transfers this offseason, the number one transfer portal class in 24/7 sports history with a score of 349. And now when it comes to their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier graduated, backup Van Buren entered the portal, Kiffin landed Sam Leavitt out of Arizona State, who would lead ASU to the Big 12 title in 2024. Now Leavitt is recovering from a foot surgery coming in. Jordan Seaton, former 5-star top offensive tackle in the portal, coming over from Colorado. Edge rusher Princell. I'm not going to try it. I don't know how
That's
to.
a tough one.
Elite pass rusher from Ole Miss, following Lane Kiffin to LSU. Ty Benfield, the safety, first team All Mountain West, held Boise State to 3 straight Mountain West championship titles and a college football appearance. They also retained key pieces, linebacker Whit Weeks, All SEC, running backs Harlem Berry, Cade Durham, tight end Tredez Green, and their top freshman is the number 1 high school recruit in the country, Lamar Brown. Now, my question, I'll start with the LSU man on the podcast. Tell me more about Sam Leavitt. From what you've read or what you've seen, who is Sam Leavitt and what does he bring to LSU that maybe Garrett Nussmeier didn't?
Yeah, so like you said, Sam Leavitt transferred from Arizona State. He was Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year in 2024. So what he brings to LSU that Garrett Nussmeier maybe didn't was he's more athletic. He's very accurate, especially on the run. This guy was with the loss of Scadaboo at Arizona State, he showed off his legs and he extended plays and had big runs. So he's great outside of the pocket, more elusive than Nussmeier, and can run the ball and extend plays. Can throw on the run really well. It fits really perfectly with Kiffin. I think Kiffin really likes to run like a high tempo spread kind of offense with run pass option. So what better guy to use? I mean, this guy he can run around, he can scramble, he's quick release, very accurate. So it's a good fit.
Yeah, and I think it's the perfect guy when a coach gets to pick his quarterback right off the bat. I think now more than ever in the college football era with transfer portals, NIL, it's easier for coaches, big name coaches with big name dollars to go and get their guy. And and listen, when you're starting a team, which positional player would you guys pick?
QB,
yeah,
right.
Sure.
The number one spot for anybody would be quarterback, and I think if you're confident and we talked about it in our most recent episode with Taron Kovac when he talked about the Huskies and how their quarterback now was potentially maybe LSU's guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific style that Lane Kiffin's after because you see the parallels in both those players. Now, KK, we talked about all these players coming in. You got and I ask you this question because when it comes to the locker room, you're really the main man on our beer league hockey team that gets the pulse of the situation. And any team that I've played with you on, you happen to know the pulse of what's...
Thank you.
Yeah, no, you know it. And I think that's a very important skill is to be able to diagnose the pulse of what is going on more than just the hockey or more than just the football. When you talk about a locker room, you talk about getting all of these guys together from various parts of the country who've played in different programs, learned from different people, played with different people. Is there any concern now about the new players gelling together in time?
There's big time concern with LSU. You spend what was it, 25 to 30 million?
That's reported. 25 to 30. It could be well up to 40
a
plus
new
40.
coach, 40 transfers, a QB that's injured right now.
Yeah, not to mention almost all of their receivers are transfers as well.
A losing season a year ago, pretty much.
Yeah. It's not like
They make the
football
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah.
and you're going into a very bright spotlight in not just the SEC,
New coach.
a new coach. Yeah,
now.
and it doesn't make it easier that it was a very illustrious leave from Ole Miss to LSU.
All the pressure's there on Lane Kiffin, but what he has and what he's done in the past is he holds people accountable. He's making them do film study, work ethic, training in the weight room. So all that's going to come down. I feel like he's going to have the guys ready, and he must.
The difference, I think, between Lane Kiffin and Brian Kelly, who was there before him, is Lane Kiffin likes to be involved. Lane Kiffin embraces the
He's a
spotlight.
recruiter.
He's a recruiter. He likes to be in the face of people.
He brought in a bigger recruiter, pretty much.
Yeah.
We're getting to him. But Lane Kiffin's thing is he wants to be a part of all those things. He wants to be front and center. Lane Kiffin's a brand, right? Whereas when you look at Brian Kelly didn't want to talk to boosters. Brian Kelly did not want to go out and, hang out with the guys. The thing is okay, let's say it what it is. This is the horniest coaching staff in the entire nation.
Yeah, you really have.
With Coach O, let's jump to him. Coach O is back, ladies and gentlemen. And this man to my left had it before everybody else.
I did.
He had it before everybody else. It was probably a cold December night, and young Matt over here was going, we got to bring Coach O back. We got to set the culture right.
That's right.
Matt was just talking for the sorority girls when he said that. But, LSU might have the horn. Going back to my previous point,
Yeah.
Probably the most horniest coaching staff in football. Because these guys, listen, you might not respect Lane Kiffin for the man he is in terms of football. You might be like, nah, coach, that's fucked. But what's going to be really fucked is when Lane Kiffin has your girlfriend bent over from the sorority house, and now you're like, fuck, man, I got to compete with my coach for my girl? So you tread carefully in LSU with Lane Kiffin at the helm. I'm just saying. Hey, saying.
You've been watching too much Blue Mountain State.
Hey, man, I'm just saying. And then now we got the big bad... My God, you got big...
That was a great addition he made.
Coach O is huge.
Yeah.
Coach
That's
O,
great, man.
that is that is one thing that he made. It's like a positive PR hire.
Yeah.
And they've worked together for many years.
They've worked together. He knows LSU. He knows the culture, right? You got Kiffin. He's an offensive guru. You bring in Coach O. Listen, Coach O after 2019, you could tell like coaching for him was just, it was hard on him. He loved the game of football, but mentally he was just like, I want to be around this, but it's getting too much for me. Now he comes in as a special assistant, and
he's a big time recruiter.
Yeah, he's
especially in that state.
Well, they love him in that state, man.
and he's a motivator. Right?
And you get him recruiting. He was recruiting guys right away. He was on FaceTime with 2 5-stars the next day. Right. He was hired. Now, what does this mean? Is this, do you think, a more symbolic move, Matthew, or do you think this has got like recruiting potential, like we were talking about, like, or do you think this is more like, hey, the vibes, we got to get the vibes right?
I think it maybe is a little bit more about the vibes because, listen, Kiffin's still a really good recruiter. The fact that he was able to get the transfers coming from Ole Miss, says it itself. But look, like I said, Coach O is a motivator. You pair him with the offensive guru in Kiffin. It's just somebody who is an LSU legend, right? You get him in and he can just get the guys ready to play. Yeah. What better guy to have on the sideline to just get the whole team riled up?
The vibes are vibing. Now, KK, does it feel weird to you that the man who won a national title at LSU is now working under the guy who replaced the guy who replaced him? That was a tongue twister.
It seems weird, but they've done it many times.
Yeah, they're a tandem.
Like, I think he's replaced Kiffin numerous times, or Kiffin's replaced him numerous times. So it's always a tandem.
I think any other two, it would probably be a little weird. Like any other combo.
I mean, Kiffin knows what he's doing. He's bringing back guys he wants to build this LSU program.
And I think the thing about LSU that lost it with Brian Kelly was swagger. There was not a lot of swagger. And you look at teams that have swagger. Miami had a lot of swagger last year, right? There's a guy down in Texas that's trying to give his team swagger through press conferences. Steve Sarkisian, he's trying to talk his team into the conversation of swagger. Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame, tons of swagger. Ohio State, we don't need to talk about how much swagger they have. Every guy's oozing with swagger there. Georgia's got swagger. So it's like LSU's kind of lost in the fold. Like 2019, LSU was so dominant that I feel like they kind of were satisfied with like, yeah, we just absolutely destroyed any team in our path. We're kind of good. What I like about Coach O and like why I think that this works is the man's won, and the man's won there.
Yep.
Right?
That's his alma mater as well.
And it's okay because we're going to get into it. They're going to lose some games. Like LSU's schedule early on is, hey, it's not, they're not like, there's some big games. And you know what else is the fucking like absolute craziest game is the return to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And I think this is more Lane Kiffin bringing in his buddy so his buddy can be with him on the bus ride being like, it's going to be all right.
Yeah, well, that could be a big turning point in their season, that game right there.
They win that game. It's suddenly like Lane Kiffin gets to go and walk by, throw up the finger to everybody, call his usual sorority girl down over him, and Coach O going to bang one out real quick, and then they're on their plane back to Baton Rouge. How do you do? But it's all about putting in the necessary steps. I think this is a very important necessary step. You have almost nothing to lose, and you have everything to gain. It's one of the most easiest home runs.
Because you're not coming in as like a coordinator; it's just a special assistant.
And Lane's not hiring a guy who's gonna be coming for his job.
Yeah,
right. It's not something where.
Well, you hope he doesn't take over down the road.
Yeah. But even then, like, I don't think Lane's or Coach O's coming down there being like, I got to take this guy's job. I think Coach O's very happy being special assistant to recruiting and defense and chilling out and having a good time, making sure the vibes are good. Boys are hitting their helmets into each other in practice. Drinks are buzzing, you're having a cold one. Girls are having a good time, all that stuff. Whereas if he had come in as a defensive coordinator, maybe next year, and let's say LSU had the start they wanted, and next year Coach O's coming in as defensive coordinator. Now people are like, what the fuck? He's coming for his job. Like, he's gunning for his job. And so it takes away that little animosity. Anybody have any comparable moves? Have you ever heard of this happening in college football before? A former head coach who won a title returning to support a supportive role? I can't really think of
the only thing is retired coaches that have come back to help their...
Nick Saban's going to be the next to watch. Nick Saban's going to be tired. He's going to be tired of this. He's going to be tired of this lifestyle that's happening. He's going to be, you know what, let me come back.
Could be. Come back to LSU.
You know it. And LSU, hello. I didn't say, totally thought you were going to say Alabama, but no, okay. LSU. Saban back to LSU. Let's start the train here.
For Kiffin?
The coach whisperer has
Yeah.
spoken. The coach caller has spoken. That's what we're calling Matthew from now on. College game day, fellas. Going to Tiger Stadium week 1. The Lane Kiffin era opens September 5th versus Clemson at Tiger Stadium. College game day will be there. We might be live streaming that game, actually. We might be doing that week 1. We're going to try to figure out all our tech and everything else. But we might be reacting and commenting live to the game. Now, this is a return game. LSU beat Clemson 17-10 in the 2025 season opener at Memorial Stadium. The ABC broadcast, 6:30 p.m. Central Time kickoff, Death Valley at night with game day on campus. Going to be a good time. LSU is favored by 10.5. Now, I guess I'll open it up to both of you guys. Doesn't get much better than this to launch the Kiffin debut.
No way. This is perfect.
Like, you get the night game. It's at home.
Yep.
You get game day.
Well, that's a big game for Lane Kiffin and LSU.
And Clemson. And Clemson.
Yeah, they're the.
And
they're
Dabo
respected
Sweeney.
I think he definitely is, yeah. I mean, look, he lost 9 guys to the draft? Who knows with Clemson? What they're gonna
Clemson's
look
a
like.
wild card
Because
because
it's kind of a big game for even LSU.
Week 1 for any
The
team, I
amount
think.
you've brought in, will you be ready for game 1?
Yeah, we got to see in training camp, right? But the thing
Especially
is,
with an injured quarterback right now.
yeah, injured quarterback. Weeks is also injured. You know, their star player on defense, so he's coming back from an injury. It's going to be tough. Like, looking at those first 4 games, though,
we're going to get
they're-
there. We're going to get there.
Yeah.
No, not yet. Not yet. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Don't jump ahead. Don't jump ahead. We're almost there. But my thing is more so like, I agree with you guys. I think it's the perfect position for his debut.
Yeah.
B, I think there's tons of factors involved. I think both, yeah, you're right. They need to start off hot. And what I'll be looking to watch is, because I don't think LSU is going to be able to, and quote me if I'm wrong, I think they're going to start off a little slow and a little shaky. You got 40 guys coming in on the roster, and that's okay. Hey, you could, listen.
But some of that 40 is from Ole Miss.
Well, yeah, but it's still, you're gelling in a new environment, right? You're gelling it. But my thing is, it's okay for them to start off slow. Like, in terms of, first quarter, second quarter, I think they're going to start off a little slow. That second half of that game, I want to see what adjustments Lane Kiffin makes, if that is the case. If they start off fucking hot,
Yep.
great. Awesome. But if they start off slow or it's tight, I'm going to be looking to see what that halftime adjustment looks like.
They got to grind it out and find a way to get that lead.
Because that's what they pay him for.
Yep.
They didn't pay him for recruiting. They could have got another guy for recruiting. They didn't pay him for anything else. I think they paid him for Lane Kiffin at halftime, telling his guys, this is what you guys need to do for
They
me.
didn't pay him for next season.
No.
They paid him.
This is this season. And it's different out there, man. It's different.
Yep.
I've been listening to the Paul Finnenbaum show every day, here and there while I'm working. I'm listening to them. Callers are calling in. CC football is different. People can say whatever they want. The people there live and breathe this thing. Like, they live and breathe LSU football. They live and breathe Alabama. They live and breathe Auburn, Georgia, et cetera, like all the teams that people cheer for. Now, what I think is, my take on this whole thing is, you can't go to Ole Miss. You can't go to Ole Miss in some trouble. Now, before we talk about Ole Miss and before we talk about the rest of the schedule, let's talk about some of the players that departed LSU. So you had Mansour Delaney, AJ Halkey, Xavier Thomas, Bauer Sharp, Barian Brown, Harold Perkins Jr., and of course, Garrett Nussmeier. I think, yeah, Matt, Mansour Delaney transferred in for 1 year and he went 6th overall. Is that, you think, the most impactful one-and-done transfer portal story you've seen?
I mean, it's huge. It's very impactful. I don't think it's the biggest one.
Yeah.
The one I can think of is probably Cam Newton. I think going from the dynasty of Florida and winning the national championship to going to Auburn, winning the Heisman and the BCS national championship, and then becoming the first overall pick. I mean, he was on a generational run.
It's a shame.
Cam
Well,
Newton
the
was
one
college football.
Caleb Williams leaving Oklahoma for USC.
Yeah, that was huge too.
That's a good one, too.
Went there with his coach, and he won the Heisman Trophy.
Yep.
That's the thing. What people don't realize is the transfer portal can be very, very good for some of these players. Some of these
Yep.
players it can be absolutely horrible for. Like, there's hundreds of college football students each year that transferred from a good situation to a bad one. They didn't know it, and then their draft stock fell, or they even fell out the whole draft. We don't really give that much attention. But when it comes to these top end guys that can go in there and make that impact, and then right away their stock shoots up because they're in the right place at the right time, it's huge. That's why I think they need to fix the transfer portal. They need to fix it. I don't agree with how it works, But I also don't blame the players as much for transferring because I think everybody deserves to find their right fit.
And they're just trying to get paid too, right? The whole
Exactly. Now, for both of you, LSU has had the top SEC pick 3 years running. Is this program the best in the country at developing and showcasing NFL talent? It can be yes or no. And I'm curious to see
It's up there, but no.
Who's the best.
It's really hard to compete with Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State is like just. I mean, they look even really good this year, and they lost so
Dude, that's the thing.
Defense,
like,
right?
we're gonna do a little preview episode on Ohio State too.
I also look at Alabama.
Alabama's still in.
But the first round picks.
Alabama's still in there. I think Alabama's offensive line needs to.
And their defense.
Yeah.
Got a lot of defensive guys in the first round.
I feel like it ebbs and flows, I think. I think before, in the old, like, pre-NIL era, you saw a lot of programs producing great talent.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is now is, like, the player that normally would have sat 2 years or a year at Georgia and waited his turn to play is now just transferring out after year one because he's like, oh, well, I can go get starting playing time at this school. Or I can go play over there. And like you saw, like there's...
Well, that's the only upside of the NLA portal. I want to leave to go play here to get play.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good for guys that are coming from small colleges.
Yeah.
Then it's like, they've shown at a small university what they can do. And then they go to a big, SEC, Big Ten school. It baffles me when guys like Isaiah Horton from Alabama transferred to Texas A&M. Because I'm like, you probably could have been very successful at Alabama under DeBoer and what they got going on there, and then you just chose to pivot and go A&M.
Well, some guys just do it for the money.
That's a big one too. Like at LSU, like Jordan Seaton's getting paid maybe upwards of $6 million through NIL, and it's the biggest deal out of any offensive lineman in history. And that's a big question for LSU. Is he going to be able to produce?
Well, it's like when you're paying all that money now, it's an expectation. And that's what I mean. I think it was Lane Kiffin that was talking about it. Is like before, it was hard for us to find these guys. It was hard for us to like discipline them because they were not making any money. They were like college students. But he's like, now they're making, this is a job. Like you're making $6 million. This is a job. You better show up. You better go film study. You better do this. Now, before we go into the season preview, we got to talk about Mr. Nussmeier. Obviously, 7th round, 249th overall, Kansas City Chiefs. Fair landing spot?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better place to go out by Kansas City.
Probably going to win a ring pretty quick. A ring chance. There's a good coach
Maybe
there.
Future starting QB if you get healthy.
There's a good mentor in Patrick Mahomes. There's the right place in Andy Reid. It sucks because you're not going to be making a whole ton of money and you're going to go from the number one quarterback at LSU to the backup in Kansas City and the backup in a place where nobody really cares about you.
Yeah, but I mean, Mahomes is coming off an injury. If he goes down, they need him to be game general. So he might be called upon pretty quick. Who knows?
For his sake, I hope he does. Like, I hope he does get called upon because I feel like it would be a cool story if he is successful. But I think mentally, that's probably wears on you a lot.
He's got to get healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to get healthy. But I'm talking more so about, like, the mental side of going from, like, top dog on campus, right? You're the number one QB.
But is it a great spot? Because then if Mahomes goes down and he has to step in, then they're going to be like, fuck. We lost Mahomes, and this is those are big shoes to fill.
No, right? It's on him to show a lot of his spot will be because that's Mahomes' team for the rest of his life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Even if Mahomes went down, Garrett Nussmeier had a crazy year. They went to the playoffs. They did everything. They won the ring. It's Mahomes' team. Right. My thing is at what point does Garrett Nussmeier, if he is the guy, they're going to try to hold on to him. If he's showing flashes of brilliance in practice and whatever, they're going to try to keep him, right? The Chiefs are. At what point does Garrett Nussmeier ask for a trade? At what point does he ask for a change of scenery and go, hey, I want to play somewhere? Because that will tell me if he is a true dog. Like, if he is the guy that wants to play somewhere, great. Because there's tons of guys out there, like you got like the Mitchell Trubisky's and there's tons of like high-end players that got picked high and they never made it. But then there's sometimes guys that get picked late. Brock Purdy, you see Dak Prescott balling out. It's sometimes all you need is a chance.
That's right.
Now there could be a team that decides to trade for him, right?
I am now chalking myself into Garrett Nussmeier turning into Dak Prescott because Tony Romo did go down in the preseason game. Oh boy. Fellas, we talked about it. We hinted it a little bit. Let's talk about the schedule. You got Clemson at home, week 1. Tiger Stadium, college game day. You go week 2 to Louisiana Tech. That's also at home. Tiger Stadium, non-conference game. Week 3, you're going to Ole Miss. Kiffin returns. That's going to be emotional. Then you got week 4, Texas A&M. Week 5 versus McNeese. Week 6 at Kentucky. Week 7, Mississippi State. Week 8 at Auburn. Week 9 at Alabama. Week 9 is at home versus Alabama. Week 10, Texas. Week 11, Tennessee, in Tennessee, and then week 12, Arkansas. So for me, this schedule breaks into 2 themes. You have the first 4 weeks of Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Ole Miss, and A&M. And then there's a bit of a lull there, weeks 5, 6, 7. But then you're right back at it to going Auburn, Alabama, Texas, Tennessee, and then closing out at Arkansas. Okay, talking September, first 4 games, what's the record?
Ideally 4-0, but realistically, I could see them going maybe 3-1. What worries me looking at that schedule to start the year, what's great is the home games. What sucks is that they got to go to on the road to Ole Miss. And I think that's going to be a tough, you got to bring in the National Guard on that one because the fans are going to be gunning for Kiffin's head. And it's going to be a very hostile place to play. So I could see them maybe not getting the win in that one, but I bet you it's going to be close.
I think that Ole Miss game is going to either start a winning streak or a losing streak. Because that's a big game.
A streak.
No, selfishly, please, no. I won't announce it yet, but I really hope it doesn't start a losing streak. That would be depressing.
Would, yeah.
Big. I think if you beat Clemson in the opener, your second game's a little easier. You can be 2-0 going to.
Yeah, Clemson doesn't bother me.
That Ole Miss game, I think, is huge for the offense.
It is.
Well, that's the shut up or that's all these interviews that these guys are doing. That's everything that they're talking about. Ole Miss is going to get the same thing repeated to them in the locker room, which is that guy didn't want you.
Yeah.
That guy didn't want you. He's gonna every kid on the Ole Miss team that's had their dad never return after going out to get milk is going to be personally trying to kill the LSU Tigers. Now, where do you guys think they end up in the SEC? Do you think they can play for the SEC championship? And B, do you think they can win it?
100%. I think they could do it. I think this is a maybe 10, 11 win team throughout the year. I think they could definitely compete for the championship.
I'll split up offense and defense between both of you guys because I agree with you, Matt. I think they're going to be they should be. Yeah, I think that's given. I think with the amount of talent they have,
otherwise it's
coaching. Yeah, it's a bust if they can't.
They got to make the playoff.
The playoff. They got to win the SEC. They got to basically steamroll guys. They got to bring in respect back to LSU. I'll start with Matthew for offense. If Sam Levitt replicates what he did at Arizona State last year, what does that mean for LSU's offense?
It just means high-powered offense. It's going to be fast tempo. The thing with LSU last year that was very disappointing was their run game. And I think they have 2 great backs in Harlan Berry and Cade Durham. So if they can utilize halfback screens, you get Jordan Seaton rolling out, maybe Levitt keeps. Maybe he throws it down the field. They got that big weapon, possibly the top tight end in the nation, and Trey'Dez Green, who's 6'7", 240 pounds. So you have so many weapons for Levitt to use. You've got Lane Kiffin, who is an offensive genius. All the pieces are there. The big thing is his foot injury. We need to just make sure. I want to see the training camp. I want to make sure, he's good to go. Because really behind him, they had a JUCO transfer and then a freshman. They actually recently got a Middle Tennessee quarterback transfer. His name is Caden Martin. So there's a bit of security there. But the big thing is you paid all this money because the boosters are paying all the money to Kiffin and the program because they want to see Levitt. They want to see him succeed. So that's the thing. I think they're going to go more fast-paced this year with everything. You're going to see a lot of screens. You're going to see a lot of, trick plays even.
The key to that is health. Sam Levitt has to be healthy. They have to protect the quarterback. They have to make sure he's standing upright after every hit. He cannot be getting ragdolled and killed. He has to be healthy.
I think the big thing with that, the offense, is the chemistry.
Yeah, getting everybody on the same page.
Coming in, you got to build a playbook. You got to get to practice.
These guys got to start working out. Yeah, right now.
That's where Coach O comes in.
Yeah.
And that's where Coach O comes in too, right? He is I know how to produce an LSU culture brand. Brian Kelly didn't do it. He faked his accent or whatever, and Coach O called him out. So I think Coach O can be this. The reason why Alabama and Ohio State were so successful is because they built a brand. It's like a New England Patriots do your job. It's a moniker, a motto that they can all wrap their head around and get to the one goal of winning the national championship. So when Ed Orgeron goes in there and he's telling the guys, this is what we're going to do. Lane Kiffin is going to set you up for success. You got to buy in. So that's what they're aiming for. Brian Kelly couldn't do that with them.
Yeah. No, 100%. No, I agree with you. Now, talking a little bit about defense, sometimes that gets a little bit lost in these big name schools, is their defense. With Blake Baker back as defensive coordinator and Whit Weeks returning at linebacker. KK, do you think defense is being overlooked by most people? And do you think that maybe is a more of a strength that people aren't noticing?
I think right now it's the strength of the team. You got a new offense, new players coming in, but you got Whit Weeks, linebacker. That's your leader. That's your captain.
Yeah. No,
he's the general in that defense.
Well, a lot of these games are going to come down to their defense. Because I think a lot of the SEC comes down to whether or not it's like you're at a boxing fight, right? Like punches are going to be thrown. It's about whether or not you can keep your eye open. So
he's the glue to that defense.
No, I agree with you. I'll ask for each of you any bold predictions for this season.
Like for bowl games or like for
no
playoff,
anything just like what's your prediction for LSU like for the season, like win total, biggest upset, breakout player, or anything, whatever you'd like to say. Like, what's your big? You could talk about over under on how many girls Lane Kiffin gets caught up with.
I think LSU could go all the way. Honestly, maybe that's me being a homer, but I think they could do it.
All right, Natty.
I think they can, but I think they got two sets of big games, as you said, the start of the season and then near the end of the season. Can they win those big games against Alabama, Texas?
Okay, what's your bold prediction? Can they or can't they? Who do they? Oh, there you go. There's your bold. Who do you think they lose to out of those stretches? What's a surprise loss that you're like, oh, they should have won that, but they lose?
I'd probably say Clemson to start, and then I'm interested to watch that.
You think they're going to lose to Clemson?
I think that's a big game, week 1.
Low-key, KK is a Clemson guy.
If you're not ready and Clemson's on the hot seat, their coach, that's going to be a massive game.
Low-key, KK is a Clemson guy.
I'd also like to see the Texas game.
The Texas game will be crazy because that is the first time.
That's big for Arch Manning.
First time since 1953 that Texas will be playing in Tiger Stadium. 73-year absence. So that'll be a statement game. I mean, my bold prediction is very clear. Is these two horny men are going to fuck around and find out. They're going to do the runs. Something's going to happen. These guys are going to end up.
I think he's going to go Diana Rousseau.
They're going to end up getting suspended at some point. They're going to have to sit for a game or get fined or something's going to happen with these two horny bastards at the helm. It's going to be trouble. Fellas, before we wrap up, a little bit of an announcement here. Myself, Matthew, and KK, the Love Machine, will be in attendance for one of these games. We're going to be in attendance for the LSU versus Texas A&M game, Saturday, September 26th at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's a massive game, week 4, SEC play kicks off, night game in Death Valley, fingers crossed. Aggies beat LSU 49-25 last season, and they're going to be coming into town all time. LSU leads their series 32-25-3. But A&M's won the last 2 in a row. I guess I'll start with both of you. What does it mean to you guys personally be going to LSU versus Texas A&M in Death Valley?
I can't wait for that. Looking at it, was it 100,000 capacity? And that's
probably a little bit more. Yep. For that.
Wow. And just the noise level. I might have to bring my earplugs.
It is going to be rocking. It's going to be rocking.
That was going to be rocking. I've never experienced anything like that.
Death Valley, Saturday night. That is all-time bucket list.
Everything I've read, normally you go and you read something, it's like, you get 10 comments that are great. You get 2 or 3 comments that are, not so great about an experience or going there or whatever. Everything I've read about LSU being there, being at the tailgate, the people, the Southern hospitality, all of it has been nothing but positive. So we're very excited. We're gonna
nothing we've experienced before.
No, not even close. There's gonna be nothing and we're gonna be going down for that. I really hope they pull out the win. I think
me too.
I think it's going to be a party in the city if they pull out the win. It's going to be what a year for Matt. He's got Pittsburgh under his belt this year. He's got LSU under his belt. It's a big year, big year for the chosen one here. Fellas, anything to tell? KK, you got a message for your listeners?
I got to give a shout out.
Oh, hold on. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'll play some music for you to give your shout out. Go ahead.
A recruit for LSU, Ty Benefield, is a Vancouver boy.
There you go.
Yeah, I used to watch his dad back in the day, David Benefield.
Oh, very nice.
Hey, might have to get that guy on the podcast.
Vancouver boy.
Might have to lock in KK with some homework.
And then later in high school, he moved out to California.
KK locked in. KK locked in. Any message for the young faithful, Matt?
I would say Lane Kiffin and Coach O. Let's go party it up at the sorority houses. Let's do it.
We would love to party with Coach O and Lane Kiffin. Mr. Kiffin, if you're listening.
Oh, they know the best spots,
hey,
right?
Big fan of your work, Mr. Kiffin. Big fan of your work. Once again, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Red Zone Blitz. It's unbelievable the amount of support and the amount of love we get. Before I forget, our trip will be powered by the Baton Rouge Blitz. They're going to be taking care of us and bringing us down from New Orleans, where we'll be watching the Saints game on Sunday. Down to Baton Rouge. A special shout out to them. If you want to partner with us on this trip, we're going to buy some new equipment and have some new cameras, some new mics. It's going to be a whole festive time. Hit our line, redzoneblitzpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok, X, Instagram. You reach out to us there at Red Zone Blitz Pod. Where can people find you, KK, on the good old Instagram?
KK Red Zone Blitz.
And Matt, you?
Matt_RZB99.
Amazing. And you know what? Until next time, shout out to my boy Shadow Dawn for this beat. I'm going to outro this thing out. We're going to be back real soon with another episode. Thank you once again for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Much love. Go have your beer, and God bless.